hello, 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 hello. Hey, everybody, how y'all doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you, wherever you are, whatever time it is when you listen to this. Welcome to my channel. All right, I'm not necessarily sure exactly what kind of messages will come out, but I'm gonna clear my head first. I really didn't intend on doing no readings today, y'all, because I noticed I was a little bloated and I had to check my journal. Cause y'all know what happens when I come on my cycle. Okay. Um, Other than that, though, no, I'm okay. I'm hoping everybody's doing well, enjoying your Sunday morning, right? Make it easy like Sunday morning. Mm-mm-mm. Oh my goodness, but yeah, today's been pretty cool. It's been good. Got a lot of stuff done and knocked out the way, uh, so I can take care of what it is I need to take care of. And short, money, mahis, I'm speaking in code. I got some business that I need to handle. And in any event, um, thank you. You're welcome. It's been a lot of stuff, right? That's been clearing out. I know not even necessarily just for me, uh, personally, but for people, period. One of the things it is that I did notice that happens or that's happened with me is, uh, typically a lot of the other stuff it is that had been happening or going on from years ago, right? Uh, Her just say whatever you have to. I'm working on building trust. Like, true enough, I've always had the rose colored glasses, but rose colored glasses doesn't mean you trust it. It just means that you like fashion. That's how I see it. But yeah, and considering, like, okay, so let me explain my positioning behind this, right? As to why it is, um, uh, it may the essence may seem uncertain and all. Yeah, because I'm clearing out a whole bunch of stuff, like on an energetic level. I'm doing a whole bunch of deep cleaning and been doing so for like the past, I heard 4 years. Yeah, it's probably some stuff that's clearing out from 4 years ago, but no, from years, right? Some of it is, um, from what I understand, it would have been that it would have been some different topics that would have been revisited, and I'm one of them type of people where I'm kind of like Candyman. You say, or Beetlejuice, Bloody Mary, whichever one you want to say. You say my name one too many times, I'm gonna appear, right? Now, I'm smoking a Black and Mild job, just so y'all are aware. But no, for the most part though, because the last time I did this, right? Her, don't worry about that. I know, but Can I just get it out because I know it's other people who would be in their spaces, okay? But her, we it's cool. We understand, okay? But yeah, if you have already gone to like your next level, remember the process that you went through for to get from one space to the next. That's pretty much kind of where I am. Where it's one of those, as they call it, nook or crook, right? Is how it's described. I got to watch Denzel, or not Denzel, Denzel Washington. Got to watch him earlier today, and that was, yeah. He makes me laugh so much. I love and appreciate him as a human being, right? I truly do. And I saw a few different uh, readings and energetic settings and things of that nature. I'm actually in the process, though, y'all, for real, of checking out some additional healing tones, right? And I know I can pick up on like frequencies that other people may not be able to, right? And within me being able to do so and identify them and stuff like that, it's one of those, yeah, because it's something that I recommend for people to listen uh, to shift. in a lot of different aspects. And I had noticed some years ago too, where when I had first started utilizing different frequencies uh, for myself, I actually, I want to say I was like 30, 31 when I started doing it. Yeah, because they was first on YouTube. I want to say like maybe I was 32. Nope, I was 31. I was 31 when I first came across it, and then when I was 32, I really started implementing it a whole lot. Right? Realistically, yeah, because I had been learning about the pain, light, and shadow bodies, and within me learning about it, I was like, okay, well, if this is all talking about, different dimensions, dimensions are controlled by waves. Waves are controlled by sound. Sound is controlled by different frequencies and the modalities that are attached to whether it's a melody, the bass line, whatever, what have you. So, yeah, in short, oh, Sphinx, I got something I wanted to send you because I was like, I know they fucking lying. In any event, though, the last time, right, I did this, it was not even necessarily that it was hurried or rushed, but it was that I heard like reimbursements and all this other shit. And then what happened when I actually got to the location, I was like, I know, you know what, it's okay. It's okay. It's gonna be a way made. Yeah. Because in short, when I sat back and I was reviewing it, I was like, I know these motherfuckers didn't expect for me to just be, yeah, unhoused, have no support, nobody meet me. Yeah, it was one of those, oh my goodness, how shitty are you? Did you not learn a lesson from the last phase? Is ultimately what it was given. And the last time, oh my God. So yeah, but I was thinking about that. And it was like, okay, well, how do you want to handle it this time that was different than last time? And yeah, because what I was thinking what happened last time, maybe it's meant to happen this time. I don't know. But I do know one of the things it was the kind of the same was it was a whole bunch of like cars and police cars and stuff that were up at the corner um, from the bus station. So yeah, so realistically, I'm just yeah, cause in the whole travel aspect, right? Like I believe it or not, I really do enjoy traveling. I just didn't have a mode by which it would be made applicable or available. And then within me being able to have freedom of choice. See that? Yeah, one of the things it is that keep coming up, and I am more likely gonna say people's names. So please, yeah, I'm her just say whatever you have to. I was listening to Rhea, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, when I listen to hers, I'm usually looking to see what it is I want to wear, or for like the whole decision making process, and that because sometimes, right, is really easy for me to do it. But when I'm getting downloads and visions, and it be so much stuff that be going on all at the same time, it becomes a little bit difficult. But in any event, I was watching Rhea's reading, and I was like, oh, okay, I got you, girl. Yeah, because I've been paying attention to everybody's everything, and I was like, all right, well, at least I know I'm on the right track. That's all I'm worried about, being on the right track. The other thing is, I do have confidentiality agreements that I personally hold. It's not signed or nothing like that, but it's just me being the person I am and knowing what it is. I know I really don't like talking about a whole bunch of other stuff, right? I don't even, yeah, I'll talk about my own personal stuff, but I don't be really knowing what be going on with nobody else because that's not my business if they not telling me. And yeah, y'all know sometimes I be feeling some type of way because I got to do readings. It's like, y'all don't know what be happening to me. It's not happening anymore, thankfully, right? Hasn't happened anymore. Oh my God, why you want me to talk about Young Thug? Her first thoughts, I don't like him. He too damn big for that little bitty ass voice. He is. There's nothing about him that I've ever found even remotely attractive. Period. I mean, I'm sure he probably could be a great person. I wouldn't know that though, actually considering on the energetic level how things were introduced and everything it was that happened within it. It was like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm cool. I'm cool on you, bro. No, thank you. The turning point, Will was with Mariah the Scientist situation. I remember I had did a reading around this time last year, and in that reading around the same time, I heard something about his name, and then I was like, yeah, but ain't he with Mariah the Scientist? And then some smart ass motherfucker, some smart mouth, not smart for good, smart for not having common sense or whatever, was like, I thought you didn't follow the entertainment scene. And it was one of those also, you was trying to be, so whoever this is, you trying to be sneaky ultimately. That in itself, how, yeah, and then around that same time, I had saw they were walking the red carpet and the way he was just pulling her and stuff. I was like, oh my god, what the fuck is wrong with him? What's wrong? Who did something to it? What happened? That's all I could think about. And then, yeah, as time progressed, he was one of the people that I had initially blocked on my things too, along with quite a few others. Because my thing is, the only person that you would have to quote unquote for men and those who are competitive compete with, but in realistically, it'll be set yourself apart from. And the masculine aspect is my own masculine essence. That's not, yeah, that's the only person that you really need to pay attention to and watch how they do stuff. You get what I'm saying? And sure, when you're a feminine that has to take care of themselves, you're not competing with another man. You competing with how it is I take care of me. And within the way I take care of me, you got to see how it is I even take care of me, right? Her and what's available to you. I heard ooh, and I just heard ooh, and all the shit you've been through. Yeah, all that too. But still, nonetheless, right? And for women, the feminine aspect, how good of a man are you to you is the real question. You know, we can talk about, I just want a good man and all this other stuff, but what kind of man are you? And when you step into your masculine essence, your doing essence, even with just kicking it with the fellas, you know what I'm saying? So there was that. And then I'll share this with you guys. I had a moment, so to speak, through this week where I was reminded of the validity in the choices it was I made, right? It was a few different situations that took place, and I had to spring into action for real in order to assist with calming everything down. And what kicked it off was initially that was hot. The other thing it was that kicked it off was there was like this group of teenagers, and the one it was like maybe 8 or 9 boys, and then it was this one girl, and she felt like she could just pop off at everybody, and it was one of those. Yeah, I wanted to chew her up and spit her out so daggone bad because she was stepping into a grown person's spot, and you could tell she wasn't grown. But I got pulled away, and I had to go and assist someone who was in a process of having heat stroke. So I took care of that instead, and then it was a fight breaking out, and went and assisted with handling that, and then after that. Uh, I sat down and I ate for a little bit, and then but the relevance in it was the girl. She reminded me of the teenage aspect. That's what stopped me from saying anything, because in my teenagers I did what I typically do now. I just be like, you know what, I don't want nothing to do with that. And if they say one more thing to me, say one more thing to me, and before a person would get the opportunity to even say that one more thing to control me, I would just walk away from it. Or I'll find something more productive to do with my time. So yes, even as a teenager, I acted like a grown person because I was really responsible. It is what it is. Um, I credit that to my mom being the oldest and my dad being the oldest as well. That's what I credit that to. And the fact that I've always been able to kind of learn things pretty quickly. So if I'm in that position, I know how to handle it. So it was that. Outside of that though, yeah. Outside of that though, um, I heard I love you and thank you. You're welcome, and I love you too. So there's that. But outside of that, um, I realistically just been kind of, I guess you could say, kind of purging, so to speak. But I always eat vegetables and stuff, and salads and all of that. That's something that's normal for me to do. But yeah, I had to bulk up on it a little bit more because it's a drink. It is that I want to. It's a tea that I want to try. In addition to it, I heard, how have you been losing weight? That was the question that's been being asked. I heard, yeah. Oh, okay. So what I've been doing to lose weight, y'all, for real, right? I don't like going to an actual gym where they have dumbbells and weights, and I don't typically do that. Primarily because I did do it right after my mom passed. I was definitely a a traditional gym girl then. And whenever I would get upset, I would go to Planet Fitness because it would at the time it was open 24 hours. So if I wanted to go work out at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning because I can't go to sleep, there's too much craziness going on or whatever, what have you. I heard that was in 2012. Yeah, that was in like 20. That was in 2012, and I would go ahead and go to the gym, and I get a couple reps in, all over my body, and then by that time I was burned off enough negative essence to where I would feel a little bit better and I'll be able to keep going. So, but I don't do that now. Now, um, I walk. I walk a whole lot, y'all. I do. Um, because that is more because I like the scenery in real life. I don't like getting on the bike and then you see the mountains. No, if I'm gonna go ride, I want to see the actual mountains and stuff, right? But I walk, and I pay attention to the pace I walk in, and I do yoga. I do yoga. I do the stretches. I can really only do the stretches for real right now. Only a few of them because yeah, I would need just a little bit more space, so I could do like the with my legs in the air, straight up, and when I'm laying on my back and stuff like that. Those types of poses, I need a little bit more space. But yeah, I do yoga, and within me doing yoga, right? If you the oil of oregano pills, right, or oil of oregano, or just olive oil, right? I've heard it work with all of them, but I would take one of the pills and I would puncture a hole in it, right, and then I would put a few drops in my belly button, and then the rest of it I take it, right. I make sure I keep up on my vitamins. And my essence is so sensitive now, y'all. I'm so serious. If I would, it's this one vitamin that I just got, right? It's called Mars, right? It's called a Mars vitamin, and it has ashwagandha in it, and yeah, it's got that ashwagandha in it. And but ultimately, what happens with it is, if I take the dosage that they tell me to take, taking the two of them with one of my one a days, oh my goodness, you're talking about an energy surge that's ridiculous. right? So I only take one of them. I learned my lesson with that, and I just take one of those, and I'll take one of my one a days, and that's balanced for me. One for the masculine side, one for the feminine side, right? Um, and what else? Yeah, I don't. But yeah, I don't really like walking into a on a treadmill. It annoys me. Yeah, it makes me feel like I'm on a hamster wheel. So yeah, I'm more so I like being like actually active. That helps me a whole lot. The other thing, I for like beauty routines and stuff like that, I just wash my face. Like I like makeup and stuff like that, but I don't wear any. Okay, the type of makeup that I wear is lip gloss, eyeshadow. Like I have my lashes done, and I get my eyebrows shaped up. But I don't really wear foundations or toners or none of that stuff because it clogs the pores. And once you get your clothes, once you get your pores clogged, it's real difficult. And when you go through a lot of hormonal changes and even losing weight, that'll change your hormones and all that other shit. So with that happening, right, I knew that there would be something that would be going on. And around this time is that supposed time, not for my family, not my bloodline though, but typically around this time, the perimenopause and all that stuff kind of starts setting in. And what ends up happening, or what ended up happening, was sometime, I want to say it was in October. I want to say it was either in September or October. I came on my cycle twice, and the first time I had came on, it was like my regular cycle. That second time that I came on my cycle, though, y'all, I stayed on for 2 full weeks, and that has happened to me again. And I was like, lies, the fucking lies. This is not how my body works. It is something extra going on. Find out what's going on with your nervous system, because if I can regulate my nervous system, I'm pretty much cool. Everything else does whatever it needs to do, regardless of how much spell work and all that other weird shit y'all be on that comes into place. I know if I regulate me, I'm cool, right? I'm cool and I'll be good. So I do that. And I heard say whatever you have to with the gluttony spells. Yeah, that was a fuck up on y'all part, because I'm the type of person, the more I eat, the more energy I get, and the more I burn it off. So yeah, like you take me to a buffet, I'll have about a good 6, 7 plates. You hear me? And then turn around, go to sleep, wake up, and shit it all out. So in short, you need food to live, right? Okay, so one of the scenes I'm kind of seeing right now is why did I get married? That's what it's been prompting at Jill Scott's role in it. Um, and how it was things were handled with her. Now, the main thing that came into place with it, right? Yeah, her, but it's not gonna be like in why did I get married too? No, it's not, because if something happened to somebody, I can't help them. No matter how good my heart is, no matter how much I would desire to, I can't. I can't. I mean, put it this way: I can, and I would, if I wanted to lose everything it is that I worked so hard for. So, in that regard, I decide and I consciously choose not to. I hope that helps in that regard. Yeah, I get prompts from the universe as to what I should do and when I should do it. And it's one of those, universe ain't said nothing to me about it. And I was like, all right, well, let me finish doing what it is I'm supposed to finish doing and keep keep it pushing. A lot of stuff it is that I know I did need to do. I don't necessarily have the space in order to do it in, primarily because I know that it's sacred with me doing it, and I can't have a whole. I made a dire mistake once before with having negative essence floating around it a lot. So I gotta get back into that whole portion and making sure that's right, uh, and making sure that's okay. I heard healing rituals when you get here. I got my vitals kit. If that's what you mean, I got my vitals kits. Um, because okay, if you know, you know. If you've ever worked in the medical training, you don't ever lose it, and especially if you're passionate about people and making sure that the people around you are healthy. You stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And ultimately, what I did was I pretty much was able to condense this time what I carried around last time. So it made things a whole lot easier. Part one, part two, I heard you don't have as much baggage. Exactly. And nor do I have nearly as much emotional damage because because I've been in control of me, and it was not no additional stuff going on. One of the things I keep hearing though is it's all natural. It's all natural. It's all natural. And it's one of those, yeah, it's all natural. Sometimes we get caught up in the make believe of what serendipity and kismet and all that other shit is supposed to look like. And unfortunately, heard that's what causes delusions. That do be what be causing delusions and illusions and all that other stuff. But when you know that that's a possibility, it makes it a whole lot easier anyway, right? Uh, to be able to bypass all that, or even just if you're gonna enjoy it or partake in it, just know what it is for what it is. I like magicians. I do. Have anybody ever heard of Chris Angel or the movie The Illusionist? Houdini. I ain't okay. So I'm gonna tell y'all this real quick, right? When I was dating years ago, I heard over 20 years ago. Yeah, over 20 years ago. Don't judge me. It went over 20 years ago. Maybe it was about, yeah, 15 years ago is when no, because, well, wait a minute. I'm 42. So it'll be like officially 12 years ago, for real. Because when I was 30, I burned my player card. I did. I went through the whole ritual of being like, you know what? I don't want to be a player no more. I need to find. Give me a version. Settle down. In my day voice. That is, it's Mike Epps, but you get where I'm going with this. But yeah, because I wanted stability then, and it was a whole bunch of people. That's why I was like, oh my goodness, I know these motherfuckers ain't trying to call themselves saying anything about me from that time period, because I had let everybody know then I just bought a house. I'm looking to be stable. I ain't looking to be playing no games with nobody and or none of this other crazy shit. And one of my exes, um, I did talk to him like in the house, but what he told me was the reason we broke up was because I was nagging him so much. And it was like, really? Helping you with your homework, making sure that you made sure you ate and listening to you talk about stuff and putting in my perspective from it. Yeah, because I wasn't even yelling at him or nagging him. What I consider as nagging is being, yelling and screaming and all that other toxic shit. But he said I was nagging him because I said something back. Basically, it was one of those, oh, okay, yeah. And when he said that day or that night, I was like, you know what? Me and you ain't gonna work out. I just couldn't talk to him no more because he didn't understand the value that comes with a person caring about you, right? And he was an Aries, right? Yeah, which is leading to the other thing that it was I saw, and it was around that same time, or maybe a few years. It was probably a few years ago from this time. In any event, I seen a clip, And in the clip, it was like, you know who I'm tired of being getting together? Taurus and Aries. That is a brother sister relationship. And when I paid attention to it, I was like, damn, that's right. But it made me look inside myself a whole lot more to see why it was that I had grown so fond of him and others, right? And that's what led me to learning about natal charts. I already had information from like aerospace science and things of that nature. So I was like, okay, since I have aerospace science, yeah, I know about the stars and the clouds and all this other stuff. Let's go ahead and look deeper. And I knew a lot of different histories of world histories, right? So that's when I started really going down a rabbit hole. After I burned my player card, I started looking for myself. And so, yeah, in short, I started fact checking. And that's when I recognized, with my different, that it was 5 different natal charts, for one. Uh, I learned how to calculate them, but don't ask me to do that because that's not my ministry. It's not definitely not my ministry, but I know how to do it for myself, right? Um, Ultimately though, right? Um, I committed the first 3 to memory, and I personally this past year have been working on the one that I'm grateful I just finished. Like I know I finished it, and I started really hankering down, or not hankering, bunkering down on it this past year. Meaning from the last time, from my last birthday to my current birthday, is when I was like, okay, we really gonna have to navigate this and get through this because this is the one that a lot of people. Leo in my second chart. Yeah, I'm a Leo. I got Leo. Leo sun, Aquarius moon. I want to say Libra rising, Virgo midheaven, and then in like my Jupiter and all that other stuff. Yeah, a lot of stuff just flipped, and I was like, oh, okay, well that's not too bad. Let me go ahead and work with what it is that I do have, and whatever else. Yeah, in short, the other signs that I hadn't worked on in my first chart, I just need to work on those in my second chart. Basically, is how I looked at it. I heard, so you've been doing everything backwards this whole year. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been doing everything the opposite way for longer than just this first year, just this year. Because just like I tell y'all, you do things in a different manner, or you just shift one little bitty thing. I've been following that guidance for a while. Like I've been celebrating Kwanzaa year round since motherfucking maybe 2015 was Kwanzaa year round. 2012 was when I first celebrated Kwanzaa though. And then 2015 I started doing it all around the year, and that helped me personally get over anxiety because it gave me something to focus on. And within me being able to focus on it, on whatever that principle was, it also awakened and anchored the knowledge it is that I had with my eye. And the blending of the cultural differences in myself, I had to make peace with what was all the same in every culture that my bloodline is made up of, right? So, yeah, because you can't always just focus on just one. And if you're going to focus on just one, pay attention to the fact of at one point, you know, everybody from everywhere came to what was known then as the Sioux tribes, Sioux tribes. Yeah, to trade and all this other stuff. And it wasn't until the 1400s, or the 15th century, that and the Americos people, right? That dude, when he came over and conquered America and all that other stuff, right? So when all that shit popped off, and the reality is, not only was it an accident, right? but it was also something that they don't talk about a whole lot with Christopher Columbus realistically being, I think he was killed afterward for the way it was he handled a lot of stuff. And the fact that, he hadn't really, for real, as a merchant, he hadn't really, yeah, or a merchant or a form of a Viking, right? He hadn't really done what he needed to do and pirate. So pay attention to all of that because it might be talking about some piracy or some shit like that. But in any event, with everything it was that I had learned about myself, it made me more understanding of, and the histories it was I did. I was like, damn, it makes me more understanding of everything it is that be going on with everybody. But just because you're understanding doesn't mean you have to be tolerable of it. Did I see Missy's reading? Yes, I did. I don't know if you could tell, but I'm smiling right now. I did. I seen all of them. Yeah, I don't typically say too much or nothing about that because to me that's private. To me that is private. My private life. Stuff that I don't talk about with people who don't celebrate it the way that I do. It makes no sense. That's the whole being a giraffe and talking turtle language in that regard, So, but it'd be understandable why people feel the way it is if they feel. It's nothing personal. It's just, that's how you feel. This is how I feel. Outside of that, though, heard you look so young, though. You wanna? That's because I, I'm hearing, bitch, I'm a tourist. No, it's not even necessarily just that. The real reason why is because I learned what my outlets were early, and I learned to apply them when I needed to. And when one outlet may not have worked, I applied another one that I had. In short, it's giving the whole residuals, right? So for me, right, how would residuals show up? I used to draw all the time, right? And the fact that I used to draw and paint, and I love art, right? Because it's Venus, right? It's the beauty of things. And when I couldn't draw anymore, that's when I would write, right? And now it's like me drawing and me writing. They singing the Chris Brown song "Residuals" to me. Like who getting my time? Yeah, that's what happens with my creative side. Like who getting my time? You usually spend this time doing this with me. You usually spend that time doing that with me. Your journal, yeah, that's how my journal be feeling sometimes too. Because sometimes when I'm having visions, I can't necessarily see, or it's not that I can't see. I can't always express it, but I could draw it out. And when I can't draw it out to the way that I would like for it to look, right? Yeah, I'll just take a second and just take a step back and then get back to it when I could see it again. You know. So oh no, I'm not bringing my art book with me because it's too big. It's too big. But yeah, um, within me paying those, yeah, cause see for me, I look at everything it is that will be going on with me, and when I even watch a reading, yeah, I'm applying it to the signs it is that I have, and different things that different parts of me, right? Like my anger. When I get angry, I'll be like, you know what? Let me go ahead and see exactly what's going on and see which area is coming from, right? And then I address it like that. I had to learn how to compartmentalize a lot of stuff. And I know everybody probably thinking, oh my goodness, how did you get so many different gifts? And how do you do this? And how you. Let me be honest with y'all. So very serious. My ancestors, my right, like my immediate ancestors, not from a while ago. Uh, but my immediate ancestors, I'll say the past maybe 5 or 6 generations, right? A lot of them didn't accept their gifts. They prayed them away, right? Because they were afraid of them. So once I accepted mine, it was like, oh, okay, you accepted yours. You think you can handle this one? Oh, okay, you did good with that. Yeah, you think you can handle this one? Oh, good. Yeah, you can handle that. You think you can handle this one? Cool. You can get this one too. It was one of those. Okay, fine. And then in addition to that, I had it was right before my mom passed. I want to say she said I had 777 hours to get back to her. That's what she told me. And but the way that the dream happened, right, was I was walking through me and my sister down in Florida. This was before I got arrested, y'all. And but I had a dream, and at the end of this dream, right, I'm walking through the house it was that we had rented, and at the time you would have to pay $350 a week, right? And my sister was working, and I was at the crib with the kids. But I was walking through this. I was walking through the house, and I stopped in the kitchen, and I saw a girl with some really dark hair. I took it to be me, right? Just okay. Remember that, okay? I took it to be me. And then as I'm continuing to walk, I go out the back door. When I went out the back door to it, uh, we had a nice sized backyard, and I saw 12 women all kind of just gathered there, and they were looking at me, and they let me know I was the 13th one, and I was like, oh, okay. I heard that's what started your spirit missions then. Yeah, that was before 2012. That was like in 2011, 2010 and 2011, because I knew I had to make things right with my sister because uh, of the way things had taken place, right? Um, so in any event, uh, from there, right, I walked back through the house, and my mom was standing in the front of the house when I came out and through the little sun porch. And it was a screened in sun porch. And she looked at me, and she told me I had 777 hours to get to her. And when I went back in the house, I saw 3 women sitting at the table. And they told me I was going to be in jail for 3 days. So, yeah, now the 3 women it was that I saw sitting at that table, uh, they were members of the church it was that I had been attending at the time. And one thing that one of the women kept saying was, it's nothing for you there, it's nothing for you there, and all this other stuff. And then she told me, sometimes you just have to learn tolerance. And and in that regard, right, one of the things that I've noticed and I've paid attention to, tolerance is not a virtue. So there's that. Um, Patience is one, but patience and tolerance are two completely different things. Patience is when you know things are shifting and changing, and you can see that there's effort being made. Tolerance, there is no effort being made. There is no change, even attempted. So there's that part. The other thing of it was, within me having that particular dream, fast forward, when I was at my sister's house, I had been in that space, and I turned around and I saw my daughter, and I was like, oh my goodness. this is okay. I'm in the at least I'm in the right space, right? And then forward movement, yeah. And that's the thing when you have certain areas and spaces and things of that nature. When forward movement is necessary, if you're the only one moving forward, it pretty much leaves everybody else behind, and that's when stuff shifts and changes and stuff. I also been having some other dreams. um I love Bella. I really do. I really do. Yeah, because she be, I know my mind don't be, it's not like other people's like at all. And she been confirming a lot of stuff for me. The other thing that she confirmed for me earlier today actually was a dream that I had been having for a really long time. Um, and but when I'm in this particular dream or whatnot, it's this specific type of lizard that I always see. So yeah, so I'm thinking, and when I looked it up once before, I want to say it was from the Amazon or something, or yeah, in that area. If I can, I'll see if I could find it though. Yeah, cause the homeboy at Casual Geographic, he don't talk about reptiles a whole lot. But this particular one, it gives you the feel of, oh my goodness, what's that little alien thing that was green and yellow and it was doing that thing. It give you, I can't even remember what movie it's from, but I had saw that go up the tree. Yeah, and it would translate in this paradigm as a squirrel would, but in that space, yeah, it's not a squirrel at all. It's like a lizard. So, you know, but nope, I don't want to do that way. I want to do that this way. Oh, and to whoever has been sending the, yeah, I take this as a good thing because whenever, okay, so I was about to take a shower, y'all, right? And within me about to take this shower, um, I had put my rings, right, on the sink. I don't know why I feel inclined to say carpenter bee, a carpenter bee. In any event, though, yeah, because that'll be the blending of architect and honey and all this other stuff. And I just did a honey foot scrub. Oh my goodness. Who on Twitter? Who on Twitter talking shit? Anyway, um, but no. In any event, in any event though, I ended up I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, but yeah, I just did a honey foot soak and whatnot, and that was pretty good. It did wonders for my feet. If you've ever been unhoused or even just hitting the pavement a lot, right? You know your feet can get calloused, and foot care is very, very, very important. So I made sure I did that. What was I saying? Carpentry. My rings, right? So my rings, right? They were on the sink in the bathroom, right? And with me putting them on the sink, I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, oh, okay, I could just put this right here, took off all my little jewelry, yeah, and everything, so I could wash my body off the regular way, not like a spiritual bath or nothing like that. And in case you aren't aware, yeah, in case you aren't aware, uh, taking a quick shower to get the day off of you helps a whole lot when you take a spiritual bath, right? Because the spiritual bath, no, because I'm not even gonna lie. A lot of people may not agree with it. I really don't give a shit. Sometimes I will take the spiritual bath without taking a shower first because when I want all of it off, I want all of it off all at the same time. And then I'll just take a rinse and a shower afterward and take a spiritual shower too. What? I'm just saying, when I'm in that mode, I'm in that mode. But that's just me. Not everybody agrees with it. You'll get a lot of different conflicts and stuff, but that's what works very well for me, right? In short, you don't have to stick to what the quote unquote spiritualist program is. You know how things work best for you. So it's that part. The other part of it is, yeah, with Sukiyana, I love that I seen her do that. I did. I was like, yeah, I was like, bitch, you better. Yes, hunty. You better, girl. Yeah, looking all, sitting up all purdied and proud. I was like, yeah, you show them this is who I am, right? Going to a little bit further because I didn't like the way that they was trying to put her out there. It's one of those. Nah, I've heard her speak, over the years, and she got some good. She got good sense. So for them to make her look stupid, it's one of those. Nah, don't do her like that. Don't do us like that. Right? Just because you from the hood, don't mean that you automatically, yeah, gotta behave in a particular manner to fit the paradigm of those people who allow for you to cross that threshold. You can only cross this threshold if you act this way or if you act that way. I know I'm loving Glorilla. I am loving what I've been seeing go on with her growth. I don't know who she beefing with, but if I was you, I'd leave her the fuck alone. Yeah, because I had saw one of the videos where she said you next. I was like, damn. I was like, okay, it was one of those, yeah, because it gave the feel a bitch better have my money. Yeah, I should have known me well enough. That's what it was given. That's what it was given. So, but yeah, so anyway, back to these rings, right? And with, okay, okay. So somebody is planning wedding vibes. Cool. I always enjoy a good wedding vibe. But in any event, though, I when I got in the shower, right, washed my body off and all this other stuff, I started, drying off and looking to put on, my undergarments. And I look on the sink, and my rings are gone. I was like, "What the shit? I know I said them right here." And some said, "You gotta turn around." And I turned around, and they were by the tub instead. And I was like, okay, okay, I understand because they could have fell. It could have went down the drain. You right. You're absolutely right. Okay, you moved them to a safe location. Cool. I ain't even mad at you, right? Yeah, stuff like that has been happening a lot like that to me since my birthday last year. Let me tell y'all what happened on my birthday last year though, y'all, right? Let me tell you real quick, right? Megan Thee Stallion dropped, I think it was whatever. Yeah, she dropped that on my birthday. I seen that as a birthday present. I don't care what nobody else said or how anybody else felt about it. That was a birthday present for me. I'm flipping my hair right now, y'all. But also, right before it was time for me to do my readings and stuff, I got up and went into the kitchen, and the chair was already pulled out. And yeah, it was very warm and welcoming and inviting. And I was like, oh, well, this is a different. This is definitely a change of events. I'm not used to. Okay, who didn't pull my chair out for me? Yeah, and then at the around that same time, I had this spirit, or it wouldn't even necessarily just be like the spirit aspect of it, but you get what I'm saying, in the astral aspect, and when one is able to make things manifest in other spaces, yeah, the space they came up to me, right? The figure form, he came up to me, kissed my hand, introduced himself. Yeah, I was like, well, I declare, clutches pearls. I do declare. Yeah, and everything's been pretty much, it's been, getting better over time. Now, the other thing of it is, Dominique, little baby, same. I mean, technically the same, but no, yeah, when I had told him, if, or not if, I told him, when you on this journey, you can't be no punk ass. Like you thinking everything gonna be a cakewalk. It's not gonna be a cakewalk at all. You gonna have to confront so much stuff. And if you get upset and you get mad at every betrayal, you gonna break real fast. You gotta hurry up and you gotta learn a lesson behind it. And when you just see that something ain't for you, Just let it go. It's just not for you. It doesn't make it bad. It doesn't necessarily make it good. It's just not something that's going to be a benefit for you later on down the line. One of the other things that I will say in regards to it, and I'm probably gonna catch some hate behind it. I really don't give a shit. I recall in quite a few of the readings, right, where and even in my readings, where loyalty tests and all this other shit, and it's one of those. I like the way I did like the way that it was presented with, everything was cool until she came around. Everybody was loyal. And I was thinking about it and I was like, use a motherfucking lie because y'all was fucking each other's baby mamas. Y'all was trading and sleeping with the same women. That's a form of disloyalty right fucking there. So don't put that shit off on me. Don't put that shit off on no one person, period. And it'll also tell you who it is that's truly being puppeted and controlled by those other persons. So, okay, I heard somebody put two and two together. Yeah, basically. But, and it's one of those autonomy. Autonomy is really important in any type of relationship or engagement, right? That's one of the things when it comes to the romantic side of stuff that I know women and men, people, right? I can't necessarily speak for men though, because I don't have a penis. My uterus is still intact. It's still on the inside. but people, right? Realistically, once that trust has been broken in one space, it takes a lot for it to be rebuilt. And the other thing that I would like to kind of point out in regards to some of it, yeah, it's a difference between a crack and a whole damn hole in the trust, right? Yeah, because if it's like a crack, and think of it as a foundation. If it's like a crack or two in a foundation, you could put either plaster on it or some liquid cement, everything would be cool. But when it's a hole or a damn me ditch, that's something completely fucking different. You can't really recuperate from that, right? I heard it's different when you're talking to somebody who know the ins and outs of the game. Yeah, basically, is what that boils down to. Um, so it was that part. The other thing, right, that's kind of been coming, yeah, because I'm kind of having a whole bunch of different, I'm seeing a whole bunch of different stuff as the nature is going around. But ultimately, though, right, um, what it is to know your place and in your own life above, yeah, opposed to someone else's, right? Because we always talk about a person only gonna treat you the way they let you or the only way you let them. And yeah, we always have those types of sayings, but it's one of those, you get a lot of people who know the golden rule but not necessarily the platinum rule. Treat others the way they want to be treated, right? Or treat others the way you want to be treated. And the platinum rule is treat others the way they want to be treated, right? Now, yeah, because it's a catch 22 with both of them, right? With treating others the way you want to be treated, you can get drained. And with treating others the way they want to be treated, for some people, it would be you giving them permission to drain you. So there's that. I heard that's why you always ask before you come in my energy. Yeah, it is. It is. It is. Because I know what it's like to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders and then a motherfucker just impose for whatever reason, even though it would be, the permission of, yeah, whenever you want to. Yeah, but it's one of those, I may want to, but it may not be good for you to. It may not be good for me too. And it's one of those, yeah, I don't have a problem with the word no. The problem that can come into place with it is when you don't know or not right now, right? I don't have a problem with that. What the biggest thing that was coming to me, because obviously, and I did hear the yes, in short, in answer to the question of whether or not uh, a person pushing you away, is problematic. Yes, that can be problematic because if you want me to pull you close and you pushing, ain't nobody got time for that. That's happened to me several times already, right? But and the answer to the question of when I clear myself out, does it assist my counterpart with them clearing out? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And yeah, and that's part of the reason why in the whole balancing of everything, you have to make sure that when you know whoever it is, yeah, that's what you bring to the table, proverbially. You know what I'm saying? The proverbial table. You bring the healing essence and all of that. And a lot of times, if y'all not on the same wavelength, I will say that much though. One of the homeboys, he told me he used to do this with his chick, and ultimately, when whatever frequency she would be listening to, he would be listening to it at the same time, and that helped them stay, within the same meridian pattern, so to speak. So, yeah, and on top of that, I don't know about y'all, but yeah, it's always great to share that type of knowledge with people, right? Because with all of the stuff it is that's going on in the world, if you can take care of yourself, that helps a whole lot more. Now, on the political aspect, yeah, I mean, I seen that shit every time I look at them damn reports. Yeah, they fought so hard for that Ram settlement, and then to see that it's $47 million missing from the last time, it's like, did y'all have to pay taxes on it or something? Because it's a settlement. You're not supposed to pay taxes on the settlement. So it was that, and it was a plan that had been mapped out. But true enough, the plan had been mapped out before the tornado. But even still, with the plan being mapped out before the tornado relief efforts, yeah, you would just chisel a little bit out of the other initiatives and put that towards the tornado rebuilding, so to speak, in the areas that need it most. The areas that need it most, this is the problem that comes into place with it. The areas that need it most are inner city and urban, because that's where the property was that a lot of those individuals who are on what they was on, they own those properties. Even though they didn't live in them, they owned them. And it caused a lot of detriment to the actual people who live there because they wanted to be on some dumb shit in any event. Okay. Um, Other than that though, um, yeah, I'm always dreaming and stuff like that. And a lot of times what can happen, like I said, I don't see them as nightmares. I just know what type of gifts it is I have. And some of the people in the different communities, right? Whether it be the overlap of twin flame or being under the psychic umbrella at whatever level you are, right? I heard the name Moloch too a lot. I was like, really? Moloch? No, cuz uh, he a Taurus. He a bull, right? That's how I see him. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. I told y'all, let me keep my rose-colored glasses on. They're fashionable. But no, what ended up happening though was in the community, right? Yeah, is there are people who are doctors, there are people who are lawyers, there are people who are paralegals, right? Because ultimately, if you think that the deities are only going to choose one person to start at that particular level, you're set, because you find out what's really wrong when you have somebody at the bottom opposed to the persons at the top. The persons at the top are supposed to be. It's just like whether or not a person gets vertigo when they touch their toes, or if they get lightheaded from after touching their toes. That's pretty much the same ideal set that comes into place with the positionings of us, and how you just have to yeah, persevere through it and make sure you learn effective communication, and Lord have effective communication. You learn uh, interpersonal relationships versus intrapersonal relationships versus familial relationships versus business relationships, and how it is you can apply all of that knowledge in varying portions, right? And also even paying attention to, as we say, playing on somebody's top, right? What happens when a person play on your top, and it's a matter of what the real challenge is the challenge you against that person who playing on your top, or is the challenge that you have to understand what they are showing you that you need to redirect your attention to, right? So there's that. Yeah, because Denzel, he put it best. He put it best. Yeah, I heard the way that his name wasn't Denzel, it was Denzel. I've been trying to pronounce his name correctly ever since. So serious. But, but oh, somebody just asked me if I mind them calling me Janet. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Depends on who you manifest to be. Cause I don't like a whole bunch of people speaking on my name. I'm sure at this point, I'm sure other Janets feel the same way. So serious. I'm I'm sure they feel the same way with everything it is that's been going on and happening. But yeah. So I don't know. We gonna have to see about that, how that will manifest. But yeah. Other than that though, yeah, I've been hearing a whole bunch of different animal sounds. Like I've been hearing, if no, because with the mountain lion, I thought that the mountain lion was actually a regular lion, and then when I heard I played the two next to each other, I was like, hold on, that's not quite right. And then I heard the mountain lion one. Yeah, because I listened to the scream for the puma and all this other stuff. I was like, or the cougar. I was like, nah, that wasn't. That's not quite it. That's not it at all. And then the lion is the second one I did, and I was like, okay, yeah, no, it's not this, because it was making me think of Lionsgate's films and what was supposed to happen or what would have happened during the Lionsgate being open. Uh, I heard a whole bunch of backfires. I would imagine. I could imagine. Um, I told what I say is I tried to told you. I tried to told you. But people don't like listening to me, and when people don't like listening, I just have a tendency to be quiet. I take my own guidance and I just shut the fuck up. You're not listening, I will shut the fuck up. You ain't gotta worry about me saying shit else. And I'll go on about my day. And then if you want to argue with the fact that I'm not listening to you, it's because you didn't listen to shit it was I said. So why should you just show me that the way to treat you is to not listen to a damn thing it is you say? That's what you just showed me. So it's that. Uh, outside of that though, but when the third go round was when I heard the mountain lion, and I was like, yeah, this is what it is. This is what it is. And I always heard, like I used to. Okay, fun fact: from time to time, I do howl at the moon. I do yeah, cause when I was volunteering, donating my time basically at the stray rescue, right? No, I haven't been back since then because it was ultimately some Appalachian shit that was going on, and in regards to black magic, to my understanding, was how that all boiled down. But so, going back to that, I'm not committing to that. I will not commit to that. Anyway, um, I ended up while I was walking right in the area one night just because I needed a night walk. And I howled at the moon, and it felt so fucking good. Oh my god, it felt so good. Which is ironic. Uh, yeah, it's ironic as fuck though, y'all. For real, now, just follow me with this, because I know I have deep connections to Segment, and that's a cat goddess. Yeah, but I'm also I get messages and stuff from time to time from Anubis, and on different. Yeah, they tell me like ingredients and shit like that to put together for shit from time to time. And sometimes they come through with readings. If you know, you know. And when I say if you know, you know, I'm genuinely meaning if you know, you know, meaning you were watching readings that I did when I was over on Facebook before I was like, no, thank you, Mark. I can't deal with your craziness. And when I had that other page, fifth dot degree dot burns on Instagram, right? Yeah. One thing for certain, two things for sure. Even if it's only one or two views, I learned you never know who's watching. You don't ever know who's watching. So, and I was pleasantly reminded, right, of when I was doing the cooking videos. Yeah, yeah. What's been happening more up to date though is it's like, okay, this old stuff may have been really bad, but this is the good stuff, right? That came from, in short, this is how you transmuted that negative essence that was being, put out there. Because what I did was, yeah, because, okay, guys, so I guess I'm just going to spend time just talking to y'all because it's 1:11, 1 hour and 11 minutes already. So, if you listen to the whole thing, great. If you don't, I totally understand. But, no, because ultimately what ended up happening though was when I was on Facebook, um, it was around the time where there was this ring of women, right? And what they were doing was they were stealing semen. I heard, yep, I remember that. Okay. um, but within them doing that, right, I did the research on it. And it wasn't to validate why it was that the women was doing what they was doing or to even give my stamp of approval, but it's one of those, okay, at the time, men were being real toxic, right? And for every action is an equal and opposite reaction. So for every male it was that was out there raping an innocent woman, it was like it was women who were raping these rich innocent men. Realistically, I'm not saying it was right. I don't agree with it, right? But I was able to see the logic in it and the way that because I'm a fixer, right? It was one of those, you know what, fuck it. Yeah, I did a whole live post on it at first. Hell, even during that, no, because what I'm seeing now is that live post that I did when I was at the hotel during the pandemic. And I was like, I'm not a kick it with everybody, bitch. I didn't kick it with everybody. Yeah, I was amped as a motherfucker on it. But I was telling the truth. It was like, I'm not a kick it with everybody, bitch. Right? I didn't kick it with what did I say? I didn't kick it with everybody when I was in grade school. I didn't kick it with everybody when I was in middle school. I didn't kick it with everybody when I was in high school. And I didn't kick it with everybody when I was in college. What the fuck make you think I'm gonna kick it with everybody now? Right? Yeah, and I had a knife and I was talking. I was talking. But I meant what I said, right? I said what I meant and I meant what I said. Just because I don't kick it with everybody the way that at that time kick it meant, like spend time with them and be around a whole bunch of people, it didn't mean that I didn't have relationships that I felt were valuable. And the fact that I didn't want to be around a whole bunch of bullshit, right? I wanted the exclusivity. Mind you, before the pandemic, I had already burned my player card and I was looking for who it is that I would really want to settle down with. They be my virgin. Like, no, he a virgin. What you mean he a virgin? He a virgin. He ain't never been in love for real. This his first time. I'm Suge Avery. He Miss Seeley. Shut up. Mind your business. Mind your business. He a virgin. Shut up. Yeah, that's where I got along with Drake. Y'all may say, they hoes, but they virgins to me. Anyway, I'm not finna go there. I'm just talking, y'all. But I do mean it. So there's that part. Um, the other part of it though, right? I was just chilling, minding my own business, and it dawned on me what I could do to help. And what I could do to help was I started making videos of cooking, right? This is how you prepare a meal for yourself so you don't get strung up and put in those positions where a woman would have to cook for you or a woman would have to wash your clothes or a woman, yeah, because yeah, no, because that's one of the things that I deeply admired that I saw shift and change. You know, a lot of people started making sure that they would pay people more handsomely that did that type of work. And it was one dude that I saw, right? Yeah, he pays his wife for cooking, cleaning, daycare. Like it's like she gets a whole salary. I was like, where they do that at? Yeah, I seen that about good 4 years ago. No, I seen that about last year or the year before. Like right before I started listening to yeah, to the very extensive catalog. I still ain't made my way through it, y'all. I'm trying so hard. Yeah, but it's so much new and exciting. I was like, damn, what the shit? But I do that with artists, period. You know, making my way through their catalog. But yeah, Little Baby catalog, that was extensive. I was like, damn. I think I might be halfway through it. I think I am. I think I can. Yeah, I'm feeling like the little engine that could. um, I heard you don't have to listen to all of it if you don't want to. No, it is. I understand. It helps understand. It helps me better understand, right? Um, how not only is it that every hood is connected, but how every place and space, right, serves as lessons and is one of those things of with us being in earth school, right? The differences and similarities, more so the similarities than anything that come into place with it. In short, I have a deep appreciation for it. It's like, what's that book? What? Yeah, if you've ever read the original Moby Dick, right? If you've ever read that book, or even if you've read Canterbury Tales, or yeah, Iliad, Odyssey, when you read those original works, they are long. Oh my goodness, but it is so satisfying and it's so gratifying when you be like, wow. And yeah, and you want to see how the story ends, right? So it's that part. Um, so yeah, with a lot of the music, and I like the animation and the voices. That's something that I've liked about artists. Period. If you yeah, because I remember in real life it's happened. I had a couple of jerk offs. They was like, "Also, you want to listen to some Common, or it's one of those." Actually, if you want me to be honest, right now I would like to listen to some Beethoven. I have an extensive music vocabulary, so to speak. I played an instrument at one point. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, and then the fact that they felt like conscious rap. Yeah, I didn't see the actual interview, but I felt where Method Man's his face said a whole lot. It's one of those you just expecting. You there is a disrespect of the art of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So I understood where he was coming from with it, and for that to be said, it's one of those. So you mad about knowledge being shared to a upbeat tempo? Basically, is what you telling me. That's how I seen it, and it made me realize the level of ignorance that came into place with some people in my generation and a generation under me. It was one of those, oh my goodness, are they ignorant intentionally, or are they ignorant because they were trying to escape that prison pipeline, school to prison pipeline? Yeah, that's the way my brain will think. It's not one of those. It's, I guess it's not traditional, but that's how I was seeing it in those moments. I'm a I'm gonna get through it. I promise. I will. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. Promise. I gotta find them all first though. Yeah, no, because that's the other reason why I haven't. Because I tried putting in features with just features of it, and it, yeah, and then I started seeing some other ones. I was like, this was not on that list. This was not on that list. Spotify. I don't have Spotify. Okay, I know where to look it up then. All right. Thank you. No, thank you for real, because it ain't nothing like having an unfinished goal. And I just knew I'd have it done in the year, y'all. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get this together. And it did not happen like that at all. Oh my goodness. Talk about the leaps and bounds and shit that came into place. But yeah, so ultimately, um, I did her tell the story with Dominique. Are you talking about when I was filling out an application at that one, and yeah, at that one psychiatric, geriatric facility? Yeah, it was craziness. I said, you man, it was so much craziness. I was like, are y'all shitting me? Do we really have to go there? Is that what we need to? Okay, this is what we doing. So, and I also acknowledge the movement it was that I saw when everything first took place. That's something that I always remember seeing that approaching toward the plane. I was like, yeah, okay. I see the tenacity that comes with the going for it, right? But yeah, so it was that. The other thing of it, right, that came into place is, excuse me, I realistically just been reviewing a lot of different things that were happening, like period, throughout that time, and how it affected others for me or with me even just listening to music and artists that were younger than I was. Right? Yeah, it's like everybody expect for you to listen to people who are older, but they don't expect for you to listen to someone who is younger. No, actually, you want to know something funny? My kids actually support me. They support me in this. So very serious. Like I can communicate better with them now. So for real, because I've always, wanted to speak slang, but I'm not fluent in it at all. Yeah, I may say one or two little hip phrases, but then I'll turn around and then I'll deductive reason the fuck out of it. So it is what it is. But yeah, so other than that though, in response to telling people what you doing, you never let your left hand know what your right hand doing, and that's not sneaky. That's strategy. They operate on two completely different frequencies. One is for logic, the other is for emotion. And when you're dealing with emotionally, I'm crippled. Fuck it. When you're dealing with emotionally crippled people who cripple themselves, then that's just what that is. So there's that. And yeah, I say it on a regular basis. In a lot of instances, people are better off with the less it is they know, regardless of what it is that would be going on. Because, sometimes, yeah, knowledge is forbidden. So there's that part. Other than that, though, um, no, I've been good. I made sure I cleaned up and finished doing everything it is that I really wanted or I felt led to do. And I'm thinking, yeah, I'm preparing for everything, y'all. I'm preparing for everything. In short, it would be nice to see more of the entrepreneurial aspect. One of the things I will say, no, because I was thinking about it too after I saw Sukiyana's, was Sexy Red. I know she got lip gloss, but yeah, and with the lip gloss aspect, right? Yeah, the names of the lip gloss, I was like, okay, if the names were different, I'll fuck with it. No, because the names of the lip gloss is like, if I remember correctly, like she got one called chlamydia and the other one called gonorrhea or some shit. I was like, oh my goodness, I get where you're going with it, right? It's catchy, it gets everybody's attention, it makes them want to be like, okay, what the fuck is this? But the more that I was, yeah, that I even been watching the readings, I was like, damn, I did say I was interested in at least knowing what it was about, knowing what it was about. Sexually transmitted demons and sexually transmitted diseases. Yeah, that'll be how that would be flipped or alchemicalized in that regard. So yeah. Um, but yeah, like I like looking at the what did you do with the money, right? What did you do with it after you got it? Everybody can get it. Basically, anybody can get it. I, mm, I'm nah, cause with that, that's like a beefing term, so to speak, or I wouldn't even necessarily say it's always about fighting words because it's been used in a sexual way as well with the whole anybody can get it, everybody can get it type thing. But you get what I'm saying with it. In any event, if you want it, you can go for it and you'll get your part or your slice of it. Is basically what it boiled down to. But what do you do with it after you have it? One of the things I definitely learned um, along this journey with being a homeowner at one point, and yeah, uh, pay attention to the green-eyed monster, right? And I'm not talking about from Monsters Inc. Pay attention to the little green-eyed monsters that come into place. Uh, and they show up in so many different forms. A lot of them even showed up for me as contractors, men who saw that I was single, that not only was I was single, but that I was a single mom, and they reenacted what they saw men do to their mothers with me. So me noticing that it's one of those, okay, I ain't finna trip off of this too much, but I can't deal with you no more. yeah, yeah, because I went through like 3 or 4 different plumbers. I did. I did. Went through about 3 or 4 different plumbers. The first plumber, the dude did the plumbing so bad, yo. So bad to where it leaked and it flooded my basement. I want to say up to like a foot of water. And then after that, yeah, we had to let that shit drain. And then because of it not being brought to my attention, because I hadn't used the bathroom in the basement yet. Like I had a bathroom on each floor at the time. And I hadn't used, and the full bathroom was in the basement, right? But we were working to get, or we were, not me, myself, and I. And when I say we, it's more so a matter of the partnership between me and that plumber, right? We were supposed to be working towards uh, getting the plumbing together in that bathroom in the basement. And I was just waiting until, yeah, I didn't go back down there because it was like, okay, I'm gonna wait until the next time that he comes through, and then I'll take care of it. And that's when, at that time, I was taking care of my dad at my house, and he went to the basement because he said he heard something, and he went down there and he saw that the way that the piping was done, and I got so upset. God, I was so upset. I was so mad. I was so mad. And then the next person, he came and he fixed it, but it was like because he fixed it, he felt that I owed him a direct line to laying additional pipe, is the way y'all say it. And it was one of those, nah, bro, it ain't like that. It ain't like that. And then, yeah, and then after him, no, because the first person, somebody else came to fix what the first person did. Then that third person was, yeah, he was a Sagittarius, and he was trying to lay pipe, and it was, yeah, and then asking in that regard whenever I would ask men for help with, working on the house, because my thing was, if I knew how to do it, I would have gladly done it my damn self. Do you hear me? So it's in a regard of when you independent because you have to be, opposed to you being independent because you want to be, or because there really isn't any suitable options available to you. Yeah, they them people they want they it was ridiculous, man. It was treacherous. It was treacherous. Because I ended up having to clean the basement up, and I just used because it mold had grown, and I ended up just cleaning the basement up and using vinegar to do it. And I'm one of the I do have to say, I don't know who else is like this. They like to play chemist with, yeah, I feel the need to say, I like to play chemist with cleaning supplies. I do. Yeah, I was one of those people who would, be making ammonia and shit like that. Put ammonia with a little bit of bleach and shit. Just make sure you got on the mask. My lungs, yeah, yeah. But one of the other things is because I have asthma, and or it's not bad, and I know that when with asthma medicine, right, it can cause roid rage. Okay, but yeah, it could cause roid ROID rage, right? Especially in children. I took my youngest daughter off of it. She had the liquid kind, and I noticed like her temper would be. It was one of those. Oh hell no, this girl got roid rage, and I recognized it from back in the day when the albuterol prescription was a whole lot stronger than it is now. But yeah. So in regards to all those different things, right? Um, ultimately, oh, that's a nice. Oh, and the other thing, that I noticed, right, that's pretty fucking cool that happens with me, and I'm actually acknowledging it now. Yeah, I would. It's one of those. If somebody is using like affirmations for like imagination or guided meditation, yeah, the line "see yourself doing A, B, C, and X, Y, Z." It'll depend on how it is one would see themselves, right? Or how it is you, or how you would see the person versus how they actually are. That's definitely one of the other things that was kind of coming to me a whole lot. But yeah, in answer to the question, for those readers who have it, yes, I do fall asleep to meditation music a lot. I sleep with it. The nights that I don't have it on, it be the yeah, they be cool and all, but for the most part, I sleep with it on, focusing on one space or another to make sure I cleared out all of my old stuff as far as how it would affect me on the emotional level. But if it comes back up, then that means that it's somebody else that will be going through something similar. So that's how I learned how to view all that. And then on top of it, yeah, cause I had heard Brittany, Brittany the Cosmic Wifey, and I've been watching Brittany Vine. But no, Brittany Cosmic Wifey, I was watching hers, and I was like, damn, shit. Yeah, I don't think she knows that she's really good at meeting shit. I don't think she, I don't think she knows that. Yeah, because different readings that I've seen her do, it was one of those. Yeah, she be getting spot on with a lot of stuff, and it may be uncomfortable because when a person finds out they have that, when the first thing that people automatically think is that you're supposed to go straight emo, and it's like, no, it's not. You'll be amazed how many get in that area. You go to the light, Carolyn, yeah, or you gotta like dress in white and shit. Nah, you just being yourself. The ones that are supposed to come to you will, the ones that won't. So it's the part. The other portion of it, though. Oh yeah, I love Brittany, the cousin wifey. Yeah, I fuck with her heavy. Because I can relate to being a cheerleader. Whole cheerleader aspect. I haven't gotten my spiel, like, completely. But that's because Yeah, script. Yeah, sticking to the script. I get anchored when I'm more stable, and that was a big part of why a lot of the stuff that's clearing out was from when I was confused and all that other stuff. And if you know, yeah, I don't like being confused. I don't like being confused about shit. Don't confuse me. That's the fastest way to make it to piss me off so much I cry. If I get confused, oh, you lousy son of a bitch. But yeah, it takes a lot to confuse me though. So that's it. Um, but yeah, just hopefully everybody. Oh, I got a new mole. I got a mole on my finger. Which one? Right hand. Uh, the pointer finger. Right after the knuckle that's going from where your joint to the finger go. But yeah. So but yeah, ultimately though, um, I hope that helped y'all a little bit, right? Um, in short, yeah, I'm taking care of what I need to take care of, and I'm trusting everything gonna work out. It don't sound like it, but that's cause that's just yeah, that's just how I am anyway though. All right, all right. Well, light and love to y'all. Okay. Um, I'm gonna close and seal this video. Right, close, seal it, lock it in. The energy into this video. So it's pertaining to this video. So whenever you watch it or listen to it, it gives you the clarity and things of that nature that you would need in it. All right, all right. Light and love to y'all, okay? Cause see, remember, light work. It ain't light work. It is not light work. It's not light work. It's not. Yes, it is not light work, and that's why. Oh, pause. Thank you to everyone who subscribed. I don't think I've ever said that before. Or no, I heard you have. Okay. But yeah, thank you to the people who subscribe. Thank you to the people who like my video. Thank you to the people who shared my videos. Right? I truly appreciate you guys. All right. All right. Because see, remember, light work, it ain't light work. It is not light work. It's not light work. And that's why you have to stay light while you work.